This is the Billy T. Detroit Radio Podcast. What's up, Detroit? It's your man, Billy T., and I'm joined today with special guest, good friend, old friend. You know him as the godfather of techno from Detroit, Michigan, Mr. Juan Atkins. What's happening, man?
What's up, Billy T?
How you doing, my friend?
I'm good, man.
Good to see you, man.
Thanks. Same here, man.
So much I want to talk to you about, but let's just talk real quick about The Movement, which is the big event this weekend in downtown Detroit. It's huge, worldwide.
Yeah, it has become. It's actually one of the big, if not, at one time it was the biggest festival in North America, and
for electronic music.
Yeah, for electronic.
Really?
Well, yeah, for electronic music. There's a couple other things that have come since then, but Movement. Well, it started out as DEMF, which is Detroit Electronic Music Festival. It's morphed into Movement.
Now, how long ago was that?
That was either the 2000 or 2001. I can't remember.
Early 2000s.
Yeah,
and it's grown.
It's been Memorial Weekend every year.
Okay.
So the time hasn't changed. The date hasn't changed since the beginning, even since the first one. But I can't remember if it was 99 or 2000. I think it's 2000. But that sounds weird, but
it'll be 20 years in a minute,
basically. Yeah.
And this event draws people from all over the world, and you're a worldwide artist. People might not know that here in Detroit.
When I started, and it's kind of ironic that I'm in this location because basically my career actually started. My professional music career started here at WGPR. With Electrifying Mojo,
right?
Who must have been around 1980.
Okay.
And I think the FM radio as a whole was not more than like 5 years old.
It was very new.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think at the time it was only like 4 FM stations on the dial.
Yeah.
When Mojo first started.
Yeah.
Now this is maybe around 1980, a few more.
Yeah.
But I can remember listening to Mojo's first show like in 77. It was like he had this spaceship thing that he would land the mothership.
Yeah.
And that was crazy for radio because you couldn't see. So it actually all you could hear is this intro for like this spaceship landing, and if you wasn't paying attention, you actually sound like it was really going down.
Mojo was great at theater of the mind. That's radio, baby.
Exactly.
Yeah, he created something.
So anyway, yeah. So that actually started here, and it's funny that that it's kind of come. I'm sitting here talking to you
full circle,
and
then we did our thing when I was at GPR. Also,
right.
You used to come down and spend somewhere like 3 a.m.
Yeah,
Juan would come down and we'd put the reel on. Then we'd run down the street to the Coney Island.
When the mix was playing, I can remember that.
Oh, good times, times.
So anyway, to get back to your question about I can't remember what the question was.
So listen, here's what I want to know. How did you get into this music business? Were you a DJ and started making music? Did you start making music and then become a DJ? What got you into the music?
I've always, I was born a music lover, I guess you could say, and I've always been fascinated with music since I was able to beat a rhythm on the school desk. When I was in elementary school, I was one of the boys that was
making noise in the back of the room.
The little drum kit on the desk, that was me. And so I was always musically inclined, I guess you could say.
Okay.
And my father noticed this early in my life, so he bought me an electric guitar on my 10th birthday.
Okay.
When I came home from school one day, and there was this Stringerling guitar electric guitar. It was one of those guitars that came. The case for the guitar case was an amplifier for the guitar, and so from that point on, I've always been involved in it.
What was the first record that you actually produced?
First record I produced. I thought you was going to ask me what was the first record I bought.
Oh,
which incidentally
what
was Sly and the Family Stone, Family Affair. But the first record, which that was a very significant moment because that was something that continued piquing my interest in music. Was because of course I love music, and that was this was the first record that I went out. I was 9 years old, and I had my little couple of, I think a single only cost $1.50 or something at the time. And I went in there, and actually it was at the shop here on Woodward in the Motown building. Wow. They had a store on the bottom floor of this Motown building right here on Woodward, next to the White Castle.
Yeah.
Right here.
The blue building has some blue writing
on the bottom. Yeah, they just recently tore it down a few years ago.
Yep.
But they had a record store down there, and that's where I went and bought this record. But anyway, so some years went past, and then I eventually produced my own record.
Okay.
And it's called Alleys of Your Mind.
Alleys of Your Mind. Love that song.
Yeah, man.
That was your first record?
That was the first record. Mojo broke the record, and then after he broke the record, Marvelous Marv was playing the record. Tiger Dan was playing. You remember all those dudes?
Yeah. I worked with Marv, and So your record caught on.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a huge success. it was all electronic, and it was something new. Mm-hmm. Although it had my persuasion, I guess, was funk music, disco, post-disco, funk music. So it was really a big inspiration. But so we took all of that and mixed it up and spit it back out in electronic form, and because of I guess the novelty of the electronic aspect of it, it just, people gravitated to this sound. It was just this sound. And it just,
You kind of created a new sound, actually.
Yeah, basically.
Did you have a name? Was it called Techno then?
It was something that I coined for this style because it was it was like when I was this sound. Well, what is it? And I'm like, well, it was made from all technologically advanced gear at the time, so it's techno music or technology music.
Wow.
And
interesting. And you coined that phrase.
Yeah. As it applies to music.
Oh, yeah.
Now, of course, technology was a word that, people use for technology.
But techno for form of music.
Yeah, form of music was, that was my baby.
We're talking to Detroit legend Juan Atkins on Billy T. Detroit Radio. Well, what do you think about how techno has evolved and grown over the years?
So well, how it's evolved now today as opposed to when I first started. There's a lot of. Technology is something that continuously evolves, and it's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy in a way. Because of technology, more technology comes forth. So it's coming faster and more furious than it's from the beginning, so there's been a lot of different developments in terms of how this technology has evolved. Now you can do a whole song on a laptop. You could be sitting on a plane or in an airport or in a car even and create a track. You can drive to California and probably do a whole album.
Have you done that?
Well, I haven't yet, but
something to think about.
Self-fulfilling prophecy. So Yes, definitely. I mean, but like 5 years ago, you really couldn't. I mean, you probably could. Maybe 10 years.
10 years ago, you probably couldn't.
Right.
Yeah, the technology has caught up.
Yeah.
So listen, you've been making this music 30 years now. You've gone all around the world with it.
Yeah.
Okay, which is a beautiful thing. Some people don't get to go off the east side of Detroit. So you have gone around the world with this music. What kind of response when you go to Europe and you just came back from Colombia, you told me.
Yeah.
What was Colombia like? How was that? I think of Colombia, I think of Pablo Escobar. I don't know.
Colombia, I mean,
they have a techno scene?
Yes, it's pretty vibrant. I mean, South America has come a long way in terms of like electronic music. There's a lot of places that kind of that like I said, once again, the technology and the internet,
access,
and has made the world a very smaller place.
Okay,
so so it's not really a stretch to say, hey, I was in Australia last week, or in South America, Colombia, or Brazil, because everything is catching up.
Where do you get the most response?
Probably in Europe, because the thing about Europe that's different than the U.S. is that we've had a problem in the U.S. Since basically the birth of the country. We've had this racial tension, this racial issue,
racial divide.
And I think racial divide that actually is it stymies progress. And because you might have, I mean, and the country is so big that there's places that you can go in the United States where you might not see a black person.
Okay.
Period. Or there's some places in Detroit where you're not going to see a white person.
Okay. Yeah.
You don't have that in Europe. Mainly in the UK. I mean, there's no place I can go in the UK where I don't see a black person.
Really?
Everywhere, on the subways, mass, anywhere you go. And it's not. They don't have that
hang up.
Yeah, that that foundation.
Mm-hmm.
So that stops a lot of progress, I think, here. And so. So Europe, I think, when some black kids are doing something that's different than what is expected, Europe kind of noticed it even before our hometown, because everything is so separate. The one thing I noticed when I first went to the UK, they had their radio station was BBC One, BBC Two, BBC, and it wasn't BBC One urban, BBC Two album oriented rock. It was all just music.
I remember you telling me that years ago, right, that was the one thing you noticed about it. Yeah. And it just gave you a plethora of music to enjoy.
Yeah, like you hear an R&B track back to back with a Mojo again, back to Mojo.
He did that.
His thing is he played all of these. You can hear a Jimi Hendrix record behind a Peter Frampton record, or Parliament Funkadelic behind America, and it was like that was what made his show successful, and so that's how radio is in the UK or in Europe. In a lot of parts of Europe is that you don't have that division. Where you can the world could be blowing up on 107.5, but WLLZ don't know about it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, or vice versa. You know what I'm saying? And that's the difference in America. So that's why I think the audiences in Europe tend to pay more attention to anything that's progressive or evolutionary.
I've always heard that Europe appreciates a lot of the old R&B and the soul music from back in the day. These artists can go over there and almost make a living performing over there. They appreciate the music more. Yeah. Why is that?
Yeah, I think
some of those
goes
reasons
back
you
to
said.
the same thing. It goes back to the same thing. And even in earlier days, where there was more racism prevalent, They're just being discovered.
Well, when you think about Josephine Baker, who left here to get away from the racism and ended up in France and lived her life out there because of the freedom that she had or felt there.
Exactly. And you can remember, like, when Tina Turner, her comeback started in the UK.
Okay.
You know? And she
still lives in Sweden, I think, now. Yeah. Some people find solace in that. You know,
it's more open. They're more open minded to music from diverse cultures.
That's a good feeling, isn't it? Yeah.
I mean, you know, U.S. is coming around, but
slowly but surely.
Yeah, but then they do something like elect this guy that.
Oh, gee.
I'm sorry, man.
Take us back in 50 years.
That turned the wheels back a couple of steps. You know what I mean? As we go through that over here.
Yeah,
that's a problem. You know.
So, what's next for Juan Atkins? New music coming out?
Well, I mean, I'm always, that's
creating?
one thing that, I mean, I think I was born to make music, and that's one thing I'm going to do till I die. I have to make a dime off of it, but I'm going to still do it, So, there's you Billy T, man, and you my boy, and so I have to give you, some extra heads up on things.
Okay.
But,
all right.
And seeing that my first record was Cybertron on WGPR, right in this very place, I guess it would be fitting for me to announce the relaunch of Cybertron.
Oh, snap.
There's people in town, there's a production company that's producing a live show. And this is funny because we're going to produce a live Cybertron show before we even do any more music.
Okay.
So that shows you where we've progressed to. Everything is about live performance. Now, artists, with this digital downloads and Napster and all that stuff, these free downloads, they're going now, but you still got people downloading stuff for free.
Yeah.
Artists don't make a living off of just selling records.
Anymore. Yeah, you gotta perform.
So you gotta perform. So that's why the emphasis is when I was presented with this idea, nobody came to me and said, "Hey, why don't you do a new Cybertron album?" They said, "Well, we'll produce the show for you."
So it's a Cybertron show. Are you gonna be performing the music from the album?
No. Well, I'm of course gonna perform some of the things that why people are still interested. Some of the top ones, but I want to do a new record.
Okay.
But it's funny that the record is now going to follow the show instead of the show following the record.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, so that's sort of a priority for me right now. They're telling me I got to have this album finished by December if I want to have. It was my idea to have the record out before the show. They weren't even thinking about a record. It was like, we just want to do the show. We love to have you do new music, but you could be right on the spot, but I think it might be good to have an album out. So that's what I'm working on towards that. Also, I mean, it's in a live, and I still do Model 500 live, and it's funny because when people heard the rumor about Cybertron, I started getting these crazy offers, and I said, well, no, I'm dealing with a company that is going to be exclusive because they're paying for, we're going to have all this 3D visual, all this up-to-date multimedia, 3D mapping, even VR stuff.
Okay.
And so I said, no, I'm I can't just do a show. And then they turned around and said, well, okay, we'll take Model 500 then.
Ooh.
And so now, because of the rumor of Cybertron, I'm getting Model 500 shows as well.
You're a busy man.
So that's my priority right now. These two entities that I record, or pseudonyms that I record.
We're talking to Mr. Juan Atkins, the godfather of techno, and the big event this weekend, Memorial Day week. Was it Labor? What's this? Memorial Day?
Memorial.
Yeah, Memorial Day is movement weekend, and you are performing. So, what can the people look for when they come out to see you at Movement this weekend?
Well,
what day are you performing?
On Saturday.
Okay, today.
I think, well,
it'll be
tomorrow.
Today when we play this back.
Okay. Yeah. Tonight at I think it's 20. They got it. It's funny because they got the first. We start with with military time 2100, and then 2100 to 10:30.
9 o'clock.
No, 21 is 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Yeah. So 9 to 10:30.
Okay.
On the main
All right.
stage.
Cool.
Tonight.
All right. Looking forward to it.
Yeah. But that's going to be under the name Belleville 3, which is me, Kevin, and Derek. Me, Kevin Saunderson, and Derek May.
Okay. The three hombres right there.
Yeah. And that's another story. We have to do
a whole nother
segment
story. We
that.
need to get those guys in here and
Actually,
talk about it.
Yeah. So, but long story short, these are the two guys I went to high school with, and I kind of taught them after they saw how the Cybertron and this Alleys of Your Mind blew up, and all the girls want to hang out with me.
So we have to do this too. We want to be down. I always wonder what it's like for an artist when they first hear their song on the radio. What is that feeling like? I mean, and as a young kid, almost you had to be losing your mind.
Oh God! I mean, it was to this day. It was like one of the. I mean, I don't know what the high point in anybody's life is, but that was the high point in my life. Still to this day, it's like it's not many things that match me hearing that record on Mojo at that.
Yeah.
For the first time.
Yeah. If Mojo was the man, if you're on his show, everybody
and I mean,
heard
it wasn't no mix show. It wasn't no mix shows on the air, really. So it wasn't like, oh, yeah, I heard my record in the mix for like 2 minutes. Yeah. No, it was front to end, and I as an iconic, as of a figure as Mojo is, that was a double whammy. Not just to hear it.
A double whammy, whoa.
On the radio, but to hear him play it.
Yeah.
On the radio, man, I almost fell out. I fell out of my chair.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So look, man, I know you got to get moving, and I want to thank you for coming and spending a few minutes with me here. And I need to see you more often, man.
No, for sure, man. We had some great times down here.
Yeah.
This is Billy T, the Detroit. I do anything for Detroit and Billy T.
Yeah.
So here we are.
Juan Atkins, the godfather of techno. And appreciate it much, man. Much success to you. Much love.
You too, man.
All right.
This is the Billy T. Detroit Radio Podcast.
All right, Corn Dog is in the building. There are some new movies out or coming out that we need to look out for. What do you have for us, Corn Dog?
Well, this weekend, your movie came out.
Baywatch?
Baywatch.
I can't wait till it comes on the stick.
Man, Baywatch came out. It stars Dwayne Johnson, Zac Efron, and that beautiful Priyanka Chopra.
Yes, Lord.
And it was actually really good.
Oh, you saw
really
it?
went into it, because the series was kind of cheesy. So
I love the series.
Was
I
be
love
cheesy.
the Baywatch series.
The movie was
I like
actually
Baywatch
pretty
Night Watch. What was it? After Dark? When the Baywatch, they did a night one. I liked it.
That sounds like an adult movie type thing.
Baywatch After Dark.
Well, let me put it to you this. This movie is rated R, so this is after dark.
Oh, really?
It's raw and raunchy, but it's actually a really good, funny movie.
Okay. The Rock is a funny guy. Him and Zac Efron, they really have good chemistry.
They had good chemistry together. I was kind of thinking it was going to be kind of cheesy, but the way they play up their bulk.
Their macho-ness.
Yeah, their machoism. It's really good.
What about the ladies? Do they show any...
TJ.
I mean, he talking about the macho and the muscles and stuff. So I was asking about the ladies, the Baywatch bikinis. He's like,
no, the bikini. Of course, Baywatch is known for the women. But the only thing I thought was that the young lady who was supposed to play the Pamela Anderson part, her name was Kelly Roebuck. She didn't really do it for me. I mean,
really?
she's nice looking, but she ain't that. She to fill in for Pamela Anderson.
Oh,
man,
ain't no fill in for Pamela Anderson.
You got to really put a good hot blonde in there, and
you also got to put a video out on.
Okay, that's enough.
But it was no
Corn
black
Dog.
people
But of course they got
it was a black girl in there, wasn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. And then you also got...
What was her name?
We don't know her name. Doesn't matter.
And you got the cameo with David Hasselhoff. And
You
I
gotta
mean, you
have
got one black girl. You got to say her name.
Exactly.
We need to
And
know.
what was she in a bikini?
Moving on.
Moving on.
Black girls don't.
Next week-
Moving on.
Okay, that movie dropped this week. Next week, we got the highly anticipated Wonder Woman coming out.
Oh yeah.
Who wants to see
And
that?
some I want to see Wonder
Let's
Woman.
go back to the black girl in Baywatch.
So Wonder Woman is having some controversy, I understand.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What did you hear?
They said it was sexist.
Oh yeah, Because they saying that because they had one theater was having a screening and
All
it was
women.
all women.
Yeah.
And so
I don't
they-
see anything wrong with that.
I don't either.
Who would want to go to that type of screen? But Sam saying,
I would like that.
but double standards. If the men did say we're going to do a screening, all men, women would kind of get offended.
But
so.
the director is a woman.
So what? That's tit for tat.
The director is a woman. This is her first superhero movie. She's the first woman to direct a superhero movie, and so she's got to live up to this expectation. And she's saying, "Hey, look, why can't I just be a director directing a superhero movie? It just happens to be about a woman."
Can I just say that's the worst kind of offense to me? I hate when people get offended because if it was the other way around, then y'all would feel. So don't tell me how I would feel if it was the other way around. Feel how you feel because you truly are offended, not because you think I would be offended if it was the other way.
Yeah. Don't assume.
Otherwise, you're being fake.
Right.
You're just doing. It's tit for tat. It's not. It's not authentic.
Yeah, speaking of Wonder Woman.
But it's no. Well, it's next weekend. But it's highly anticipated. It's due to be a blockbuster for the summer.
All right.
Also, next Thursday, if you get a chance to get out, they will be having the All Eyes on Me Center Transformer Mobile Theater here in the city.
Say that again.
I missed that completely.
It's the All Eyes on Me Center Transformer Mobile Theater.
So wait a minute. Tupac is a transformer now?
No,
it
is a mobile theater.
Oh.
And they're going to show Tupac?
So they're going to have a movie on the app, is what you're saying.
No, they're going to be showing like a lot of the behind-the-scenes footage, a lot of untold things about Tupac in this mobile center. It's going, to various.
I mean, the actor.
No. As far as I know, they haven't disclosed.
Now, this is, I don't know if we can say where it's at because.
No, we can. It will be at the Royal Oak.
Our sister station, 1075, Hot 1075. The morning show is going to be broadcasting live. I think they're going to broadcast all day. So Big Greg and.
It's from 11 to 7.
Can I tell you what's happening here at Radio 1?
They
will be there broadcasting in the morning. The morning show is before 11 o'clock. Squirrel. I care, and I think I'm telling me.
Squirrel.
I'm saying this is what's happening. Radio 1 will be broadcasting live from the Royal Oak Movie Theater on Thursday, the same day as that vehicle's going to be there. Okay. And if you want to get out, win some prizes, and win passes to the movie, go see Big Greg and Delicious.
What you plugging that? I'm doing my movie thing.
But hold up, though.
Okay, you know what? There, we'll take care of that right there. How about that?
Well, since you're plugging Delicious, let's get back to the black girl in Baywatch.
Delicious should have been in Baywatch. Delicious could have been in Baywatch.
And they should have had a black girl do Wonder Woman.
Why is that, TJ?
Because, it would be...
The island of the Amazons.
No, and then it would be like, one of those episodes of... one of those reality shows.
See, that's the problem right there. See, there's the problem.
Where are we going with that?
Wonder Woman.
I don't know where we're going with that one.
Well, she is mixed, the young lady from Wonder Woman.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mixed with what? What's mixed? What does that mean?
I don't know what that means.
She's not straight Caucasian. She is, I forgot what ethnic she is.
Okay, is that all the movies you have, sir?
Yeah, that's the only other. And the only other thing is also starting next Thursday, like I mentioned last week, is the Cinetopia Film Festival.
Oh, yeah.
It does start June 1st to the 11th. You can go on cinetopiafestival.org to get passes to the screenings, to the parties, and to all the other events that they got going on.
They got parties, too?
Yeah.
Comic-Con.
The kickoff party is June 1st, and I believe it's up in Ann Arbor because the festival is
Arbor. So Detroit is becoming like Cannes and Sundance and stuff like that. That's correct. That's good. Good deal.
What the kickoff party is supposed to be, they're showing the movie The Hero starring Sam Elliott, and he will be in town.
Oh, all right. Also heard Hugh Jackman's going to be here.
Yeah. They got some big names.
They're going to do Logan. It's a black and white version of Logan. The director and Hugh Jackman are going to be here for that. I don't know exactly where it's at, but that's kind of big.
Yeah,
that's
that'd be cool.
Big.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, that would be sweet.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Corn Dog. Appreciate that.
Hold it for sure.
Oh,
got one clap. Now, listen, a couple of people that had birthdays this week. One is Heavy D.
Oh, yeah.
And Heavy D passed away. How long ago, TJ?
Wow. That was
2011.
Yeah, that was
at the age of 44. We have a little mini documentary that we're going to play from Heavy D. And this is something we did a couple years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
So we'll play this. This is for Heavy D. Celebrate. Well, he had his birthday this week. He would have been 50 years old this year. I hope I didn't
Did you cut
download that wrong. Today, we look at the life of Heavy D. Born in Jamaica on May 24th, 1967, Dwight Arrington Myers and his family moved to Mount Vernon, New York in the early 1970s, and that's where he became Heavy D. In 1987, he and his cousins, Trouble T. Roy, G. Wiz, and Eddie F., formed the group Heavy D and the Boys. Heavy D and the Boys were the first group signed to Uptown Records. Now, Heavy D was the front man and the only rapper in the group. And in 1987, they released their first album, Living Large. They followed that one up in 1989 with Big Time. Produced by Teddy Riley, it ushered in the era of New Jack Swing. And then, tragedy struck. While on tour in 1990, dancer Trouble T. Roy Dixon suffered a fall in Indianapolis, Indiana, and died. He was 22 years old. The next album didn't come out until 1991. They dedicated that to T. Roy. It was called Peaceful Journey. But Heavy D didn't stop. He gained more fame by singing the theme song to the television show In Living Color.
In living color.
Heavy D even got into a little acting himself. He starred in television shows like A Different World, Living Single, and The Tracy Morgan Show, as well as movies like Who's the Man, Cider House Rules, and Life with Eddie Murphy. In the mid-1990s, Heavy D became the first rapper to head a major music label when he became the president of Uptown Records. On October 29, 2011, Heavy D performed on the BET Hip Hop Awards. Although it was his first television appearance in 15 years, it was also his final live performance. On November 8th in 2011, in Los Angeles, California, at the age of 44, he collapsed outside his Beverly Hills home and was taken to Cedars-Sinai Medical Center, where he died. An autopsy report released in December found that the cause of death was pulmonary embolism. He had a blood clot in his lung.
I just feel like if you can imagine whatever it is as a child, because that's what this was for me. It's like I'm living my childhood dream still. It's like I always took it as a blessing. Mm-hmm. Like I never put myself above the situation or above people. It was like I'm lucky to be here. Like I'm living a charmed life.
He was a rapper, actor, businessman, loved by many. Dwight Arrington Myers, better known as Heavy D. Gone but not forgotten. We got nothing but love for you, Hev. This is Hip Hop 101. Squirrel said he had a special guest calling in, and we now know that special guest is Mr. Tony Roberts. Tony, are you there?
Robert.
You ain't ready. Y'all don't want it hot.
What up, Tony?
What's happening, man?
Where the white women at?
Tony Roberts, one of Detroit's favorite sons, funny guy. I wanted to tell you, man, like when you were here a couple months ago, you killed it.
Oh, at the music hall.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Your
energy.
energy.
Coming home. You know, there's one thing about Detroit comics, man. We the funniest out because we don't hide behind that New York swag or that southern slang and that West Side move. No, we just plain funny. We ain't got nothing to hide behind. That's why I like to come home. We can't fool people back in Detroit.
You got that right.
Man, I got to come raw with it. I can't be playing around being all cute.
Now, Tony, you have been doing this a long time now. You left and went out to California, what, in the early 2000s?
In 95.
95, that long ago.
I signed 1 year with Def Comedy Jam. You know what I did? 94, I did a Comic View. And I got the Robert Harris Award the next year for the most original comic of the year. And then 3 months after that, I was in New York on Def Jam. Came back, packed my stuff, and left, and never came back.
Now, did you go to New York or California?
I went to New York.
Okay.
I stayed 6 years in New York.
Really?
Then I moved to L.A. for 6 years, and I went to Sacramento, did a show, met my wife, and 3 kids later.
Wow. Hey, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
so, between New York and L.A., do you prefer one or the other?
I prefer New York.
Now, I've heard somebody else say that. What's the big deal about New York?
New York is they don't nothing impress them really.
Mm-hmm.
They don't see it. We can be walking down the street, turn the corner, you run to Janet Jackson or Reverend Run or anybody. It was just Albert, and you don't never know, man. New York, they don't get harassed in restaurants or nothing. In L.A., everybody's stuck up, and you go to a crowd, you try to do comedy, everybody's an actor, inspiring. A musician. So they're in the crowd, just paying attention, think they're more important than you.
Oh.
It's just smoke and mirrors. L.A. is smoke and mirrors. If you go to L.A. and you look at the traffic is so bad because everybody is by themselves.
Uh-huh.
Don't want to know where you don't want nobody to know where you're going. It's all everybody on their own in L.A. And New York, they catch a train, they ride together, they down, man. I love New York. It's down to earth.
Okay.
Anyway, East Coast, Midwest, I like better than West Coast.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're on the phone with Tony Roberts, one of Detroit's funniest comedians out there. And you've done so much, Tony. You've done commercials. I know, man. You were in the TV show with Bill Bellamy, which I loved.
Yeah, with Mr. Buck, with Uncle Buck, with Mike Epps. Man,
yeah.
We did. I got 2 shows on. I just sold Kevin Hart on the LOL network is coming out. So look out for those 2 shows. We don't do that as one of the shows. All the stuff that white people do that black people don't. And I'm going to go find out why. You got to see the sizzle reel. I went to water polo with UCLA water polo team. And I went out in the country and they taught me how to let a bull go.
Wait a minute, what?
On a horse and rope it. Dude, I'm talking about all day training, and I see why we don't do that. There's a lot of stuff we're not supposed to be doing.
We're not supposed to wrestle with bulls, huh?
We ain't supposed to be doing. Let me tell you.
You're breaking up, Tony.
Playing and threw them in my mouth.
What you do in your mouth?
I blacked out. Don't do that. So I got some stuff coming out, man. So y'all look out. I got 6 more songs. Everybody know my songs I sing. You Need Your Blood Beat and all these songs I do. I got 6 fresh songs with videos coming out for that. And I'm gonna shoot a new 1-hour special this fall.
Okay, and you said the LOL Network. This is a new comedy network?
Network. It goes up against Hulu and Netflix. You got a new network launching.
Okay.
All kind of content. It's dope.
Well, if Kevin Hart's pushing it, we know it's going to be good.
Now, weren't you on the halftime show, the Kevin Hart's halftime show for the Super Bowl?
Man, I did half the. Most of them I did, they weren't even planned. I just kept jumping in because he wanted. He wanted to play the referee, and they go and start cracking on people. He just called me like 2 days ago. He said he might want to do something for All-Star Weekend and do something same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's gonna be dope.
Well, look, man, you so tight with Kevin Hart. Are you going to be doing any of his movies with him, or? You know,
I got a movie I wrote for him, and I just told him that 2 weeks ago. We was performing down in San Diego together, and I said I'm in 30 pages in. When I finish, I'm gonna do like 100 pages, and it's a movie for him, but he want to do it, and I told him if he could do it because it's time for him to do. He done did everything. He's almost the same person every movie. Mm-hmm. He got that demographic like Eddie Murphy. A couple people did the same thing, but what made him different later on, Eddie Murphy, what Kevin Hart needs to do now, he needs to do something like show his range. Mm-hmm. He needs to do something like Clumps.
Oh, and do some characters.
Yeah, he needs to be about 4 people and himself in a movie in the same house. And that's what I got a movie for him that wrote, and I'm gonna throw it right at him and see if he want to do it. I think with some training, the makeup and kicking it I think he can pull it off. A lot of people are scared of that. A lot of comics scared that they don't do characters.
Well, he's a talented guy, so he could. Yeah, I think he can pull it off. Yeah. So you're writing, you're acting, you're just doing as much as you can. What's the plan? What's the plan, Tony Roberts?
The plan is to get my own TV show, dude. I just wrote my own sitcom, wrote the pilot. Lionsgate grabbed it, and an investor grabbed it, and I had 2 table reads. It's called Rent Free. It's a deal with me. I play this landlord, and I'm the only black landlord. I'm a black landlord in an apartment complex full of Mexicans, and they call it salsa and yam. But now I changed it to Rent Free, and they love it. So I got to see, possibly this fall, you might see my own show that I wrote.
Wow, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Where you calling from right now?
I'm going on a tour with Fred Hammond.
What? With Fred Hammond?
Yeah, we wrote like a gospel comedy sketch thing with some singers and everything, and we go out this October.
Wow, cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Where are you at right now? Where you calling from?
I'm in Canton, Michigan. I'm over here with my sister.
Oh, you at the crib?
She live out. Yeah, I got here Wednesday night, man. I've been at the Punchline Comedy Lounge. I got my last 2 shows tonight. And,
Are you
on Northwestern Highway? Comedy Club.
Yeah, it's Southfield, Northwestern Highway, Punchline. That's a new spot. And
I have 5 shows. I got the last 2 tonight.
Oh man, what time?
8 o'clock and 10 o'clock.
I'm coming.
Yeah, y'all
we
coming
down there.
Y'all follow me on Instagram and Twitter, Tony T. Roberts. Put that T in the middle. I'm telling you.
Tony T. Roberts.
Yeah, I'm always on there with something to say, man. I always have my commentaries and I got some funny joints going on.
Okay.
You know, I'm always repping. I just left the store. Just left Game Day Detroit. I got a gang. I always come and get my Lions and Tigers gear and go back to California. I got a bag full of stuff.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, man, we'll let you get back to your family out there. Thanks so much for calling in and hollering at us, man.
All right, man. All right. What up, though? Detroit? I'm out.
Tony T. Roberts. Follow him on Instagram. Thanks, Tony. Appreciate it, man.
This is the Billy T. Detroit Radio Podcast.
Coleman Alexander Young, the first black mayor of Detroit. His birthday was May 24th, if I'm not mistaken. TJ?
Yeah, and I'm voting for him this year.
You mean Junior? You do that. If you can vote for Coleman Young.
It'll be something else, huh? Yeah, Junior. I'm voting for Junior then.
Okay, well, we're going to play the little mini documentary for Coleman Young. We did this maybe a year or so ago, too. Just telling a little story of his life. Coleman Young, the first black mayor of Detroit. Hi, I'm Billy T., and this is A Little History from Black in the Day. Today, we take a look back at the life of Coleman Alexander Young, the first black mayor of the city of Detroit. Born May 24th, 1918 in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. His mother, Ida Reese Jones, and his father, Coleman Young, who was a dry cleaner. His family moved to Detroit in 1923. He graduated from Eastern High School in 1935. He worked for Ford Motor Company like everybody else, but he was blacklisted for his involvement in the Union and civil rights activism. He later worked for the U.S. Post Office, where he and his brother George started the Postal Workers Union. During World War II, Young served in the 477th Bomber Group, the Tuskegee Airmen. He played a role in the Freeman Field Mutiny, in which 162 African-American officers were arrested for resisting segregation. This was at a base in Indiana in 1945. Coleman Young was always a rebel. In 1973, Coleman Young ran for mayor of the city of Detroit. His campaign addressed the role of violence inflicted on the black population by a disproportionately white police force. He also pledged to eliminate the police unit STRESS, which stood for Stop the Robberies and Enjoy Safe Streets. Well, it wasn't too safe if stress was on your back. Coleman Young was elected the first black mayor of Detroit and was sworn in January 1st, 1974. He left office 20 years later in 1994. Coleman Young was a controversial figure. Some say he was polarizing, strong, brash, outspoken, and unapologetic. His administration had its scandals, but he was always proud of his city.
To attack Coleman Young, I've become a code word for black. To attack Detroit is to attack blacks. Politicians run for office by attacking Detroit, by attacking Coleman Young. The media gets headlines. Are you proud of Detroit? Certainly I'm proud of Detroit. I wouldn't be here if I were not.
While in office, he oversaw the completion of the Renaissance Center, the People Mover, Detroit Receiving Hospital, the GM Hamtramck and Chrysler Jefferson plants, and Joe Louis Arena. He was often misquoted. His most famous misquoted speech was when he told certain people to hit 8 Mile. Listen.
I issue open warnings now to all dope pushers, to all rip-off artists, to all mothers. It's time to leave Detroit, hit 8 Mile Road. And I don't give a damn if they're black or white, if they wear super fly suits or blue uniforms with silver badges. Hit the road.
Coleman Young came along at the perfect time for Detroit. He was hated by some, but loved by many. The mayor had one son, Coleman A. Young II, who is currently a Michigan State Senator. Coleman Sr. would be proud. Some say he outlived his usefulness. Well, Say what you will about Mayor Coleman Alexander Young. He was a man of the people. He loved the city, and the city loved him back. He did what he could for as long as he could, and for that, we thank him. He died from emphysema in 1997. He was 79 years old. So today we honor the people's mayor, Coleman Alexander Young. Thank you for listening. I'm Billy T, and this has been a little Detroit history from Black in the Day. Thank you for listening to the Billy T. Detroit radio broadcast. Follow me on social media at Billy T. Detroit.